Hey guys, what's up? It's Waldrick from the Dark Wreath once again, and can we talk about this weapon for a minute? Or 5 minutes? Lend me your ears, and let's go.
I am flesh and I am bone, rise up, ting ting like glitter and gold. Like glitter and gold.
Alright guys, so let's take a look. First of all, the question everybody is talking about, everyone is asking right now, how does it compare to Galatine? As you can see, the Gram, without mods obviously, is a fair bit slower actually, and it is noticeable. It is noticeable before or while you're leveling it up. As soon as you hit your Prime Fury, then it's going to be fine. But until then, you will notice it is a beastie slow weapon. Aside from that though, you are getting a pretty incredible increase on critical chance, status, and a decent increase on your critical damage multiplier, if I can spit that out. I'll put my teeth in at some point. There is a slight decrease in raw damage compared to the Galatine Prime for the Grand Prime, but again, you've got the nicer status chance, the nicer crit chance, and obviously the nicer crit multiplier. So let's see how I've modded it. Now, I know I need so many credits to finish off my Prime mods, and apparently Blood Rush too, but there is the general idea here. You get the general idea. I've gone for a hybrid build. You can get a very nice status chance with just two 60-60 mods, your dual status mods, and also Drifting Contact, which is obviously nice for a hybrid build. You get the combo duration, which works well with Blood Rush, an absolute must on critical weapons, and you get the increase to status chance on top of these two. So, Prime Pressure Point, if you don't have it, throw Pressure Point on there, and Prime Fury. Generally speaking, I mean, this probably doesn't work for mine because it's too off top, but if you have Berserker, you can stick a Berserker on there if you don't have Prime Fury, but Berserker is better than Fury, and Prime Fury is better than Berserker, generally speaking. Now, I would normally go for base critical damage, but I've started replacing it with Gladiator Might. I know you only get an extra 15% critical chance per multiplier, stacked with Blood Rush, but I prefer it, especially on weapons that have such a high critical multiplier anyway. This goes up to 4.2, whereas if I throw Organ Shatter on, it's 4.9, which obviously is bigger, but I just prefer this, especially when you're not actually increasing the weapon's critical chance, you're completely relying on the Blood Rush, and this just tips it in your favour a little bit more. So, on top of that, obviously, Condition Overload. There's not that many status chances here. Well, there is status chance, but there's only 4 statuses. I take an Artax weapon on my Sentinel as well, so that's another one. But, yeah, I mean, 60% melee damage per status, it's ridiculous. Compare it to Prime Pressure Point, you only need 2 or 3 of these to actually proc to basically have another Prime Pressure Point if you have 3 statuses procced. Now, when you're looking at the status proc, you have an 83.2% chance to proc one of these. Now remember that your 3 basic physical damage types, your slash, impact, and puncture, will have a 4 times higher chance of proccing than your elemental. That's your advanced and basic elemental. It doesn't matter. So when you're working out the percentage of which one will proc, the chance of which one will proc, times all of these 3 by 4. So as you can see, if we times these by 4 just in our head, when I do get a status proc, highest chance will be slash, then viral, then impact, and then puncture. Puncture is a very low chance. So that's how that works. I've generally just gone for viral. I like the viral type. I think it works well against most things, and combined with a very strong slash, especially if you get the proc off, that's just a nice combination. It's a bit of a jack of all trades. Obviously, if you're against on a sortie, let's say augmented enemy armor, you'll slap on corrosive. If you're against shields, you'll slap on a bit of magnetic. You can change these two out for whatever element you want, but just like I say, for generally just bashing around missions, I always throw a viral on. So that's my build at the minute. Last thing really, completely down to personal preference, is Tempo Royale. No Cleaving Whirlwind is a good one. It's got a a very high swirling combo where you just repeatedly spin, which is very cool. But there are some strong, heavy slamming attacks in Tempo Royale, which I love the appearance of and I love the effect of because it knocks people to the ground, which you can obviously then proc a finisher. So that's my personal preference. It doesn't really matter between Cleaving Whirlwind and Tempo Royale. The only thing is the Majestic Abandon, this first one here, although it obviously doesn't show it here, the first, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 of these attacks actually does additional damage, which as your spam E combination is actually quite nice. So yeah, that's my build, and I guess all there is left is to jump into the Simulacrum. Let's go. And here we are. So let's kick off a simulation. And let's see how this fares. Now, these are the heavy attacks that I'm talking about. But as you can see, it's absolutely mushing these heavy gunners. Ignore my dog. He's not doing that much damage anyway. But as far as damage is concerned, it really is crazy. You also get the knockdown as well. And yeah, I mean, that was an insta-kill, but yeah, whatever. Another big knockdown, which again I like, and it just completely crushes these guys, especially with the viral and the slash. Now, the interesting thing is here, you may notice in the bottom right hand corner, it hits its 2x combo multiplier without going to 1.5, and it hits this at 50. I haven't done a lot of extensive testing, but compared to your Galatine Prime, which has a fairly standard, I believe by 50 it hits 2.5. I can't remember. I don't know how good or bad my Galatine Prime is, so please forgive me. But just looking at combos, I better actually switch to melee. There we go. So there, 2 times already. 2.5, I think 45 that was. There you go. So, interestingly, if you're just going for raw damage, then your Gram is looking good, but if you want to stack it up, Galatine is actually still not that far behind, especially in terms of the long haul, so to speak. So yeah, there we go. Again, I do need to max these out. It's annoying, I know, but it will perform a little bit better once I get those maxed. Now, Gram definitely hits harder, but like I say, in the long run, the Galatine will probably pick that back up. But I don't know, I still prefer the Gram. It is a very cool weapon, and to me, it just looks awesome aesthetically. Very, very cool. It's almost like a grandfather clock. I don't know why. It just reminds me of a big, hefty grandfather clock. This is the base color, and it is just a very fancy ass weapon. Oh, that's no. Yeah, you get the idea. You get the coloring ideas there. But yeah, so there you have it. The Grandfather of Swords finally has a prime. I'm not going to say it's power creep. It's definitely, obviously, a damn sight better than the original Gram. But I'm not going to say it's power creep. It's marginally better than your Galatine Prime. Granted, Galatine Prime is a very good weapon. But again, this only just tops it. I mean, in looks, it goes far beyond, so that's why I'm going to use it. It's definitely going to be one of my favourite weapons. I always used to be. I do remember, I think the Gram was back long ago when melee weapons could only actually hit one target at a time if you were just spamming attack. I believe Gram was one of the few weapons that could actually multi-hit. So that's what made it special. Don't get me wrong, it was still a pretty crappy weapon, but that was like its perk. It was one of those weapons, there was only a handful that could hit multiple targets. But anyway, that was back in the day of single target melee, I guess, but I can't remember when that changed. But now every weapon is as good as its range, basically. And yeah, like I say, the Grandfather of Swords is back, and it is prime. Looking awesome. there you go. Let me know in the comments below what you think. How do you favour the Gram to the Galatine? Let me know. How do you rate its looks? How do you rate it? Just tell me anything you want. You want to see anything specific on this channel as well? Again, leave something in the comments below. I'll see if I can get right on it. So, thanks for watching my little Gram Prime video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.